Alright, today I'm going to show you about how to write equations using percentage-based problems. Alright, the first thing I would recommend doing whenever you're dealing with problems that deal with taxes, discounts, increases, decreases, whenever it's something with percentages, in general what you want to do is try to rephrase the problem into an of and is statement. Alright, so what I would recommend doing, again, this kind of outlines how to do it, but if you had 100% is what you start off with. And if you have a tip, obviously that makes it go up. So if you had like a 5% tip, 100, that would be a bad tip. But 100% plus the 5% gives you 105% of the total number. Again, if you have taking off a discount, you subtract that from 100. So if you lost 20%, 100 minus 20, so it's 80% of the number is remaining. All right. Aside from that, everything else is done just like normally how you would solve and balance equations. So go ahead and copy down this example if you have not already done so. In this particular problem, what I would recommend doing is first identify the key math words. So when I look at this problem, I see several words. I see person buys a book bag, so we bought a book bag, and three notebooks from the store. Each notebook was advertised as $1.29, but that's before tax. And then after a 6% sales tax, so it's a percentage equation problem, the final bill came out to be $20.90. All right? So again, those are our key methods. Now the next thing I would do is turn these into a percentage of an is statement. So in this particular problem, basically we buy an object, so we have an old price, and then we have to increase it by 6%. So we increase the old price by 6%, and that gives us our final price. All right, so if it's an increase of 6%, again, you always start off at 100%, so 6% above that would be 106%. So this phrase would be 106% of the old price is equal or is the new price or final price. Now all we do is we just start replacing the pieces of this with the information from the problem. So again, it's 106% of the old cost is the new cost, so is means equals, of means multiply. 106% you always write as a decimal, 1.06. So the old cost, so we've got to figure out what our old cost was. So what we did is we bought one book bag, a book bag, so one, I'll say B for book bag, plus 3 notebooks, so plus 3N. So we got 1.06 times 1 book bag plus 3 notebooks is equals the new cost, which was $20.90. At this point, we look, okay, well, we know that the price of the notebooks were $1.29, so you could technically say this is 1.06 times 1 book bag plus 3 times 129 equals $20.90. All right, so now this is an equation. We can balance it. So in this case, there's 2 ways that you could go about this. Obviously, the first thing you'd want to do is plug in that $1.29. So when you multiply that out, 129 times 3, this would end up giving you the equation 1.06 times parentheses, book bag, 1 book bag, plus 3 of those, which is $9.87 equals $20.90. Okay, so the 2 different ways you can do this are as follows. The first would be is simply distributing. Okay, that's the most common way people would do this. Again, normally when you see parentheses, you want to distribute. So what I would probably do is just multiply that out. Go get a calculator real fast. So we multiply the numbers. You got 1.06 times b is obviously this 1.06b. Then you got to do 1.06 times 9.87. That's plus 10.46. Round to the nearest penny because we're dealing with money. And then equals $20.90. All right, now at this point we have three terms. Balance this. So B term, a number and a number. So we got to move this number with that. So you do minus 10.46 minus 10.46. That gives you 20.9 minus 10.46 is obviously, that's 10.44. So you get 1.06B equals 10.44. So 1.06 times the price of the book bag equals $10.44. So then you now divide by 1.06, divide by 1.06, and you get the price of the book bag is about $9.85. So that is the price of the book bag before tax. Okay. Now that's kind of the longer way to solve it. I'm going to show you a little quicker way. So again, I'll write that number down so we don't forget. So the price of the book bag was $9.85. So now the little quicker way is if you have a good feel about kind of the literal equations a little bit, where you've got, so again, this was plugged in the 1.29, so that came out to be 9.87. Okay, so if we here we got 1.06 times B plus 9.87 equals 20.9. All right, now the other way to solve this problem, because in a way, this is just one term. It's 1.06 times this whole quantity. So rather than distribute, because there's just one term over there, sometimes it's easier just to divide by the coefficient. So in this case, the coefficient of this term is the 1.06. So a little shortcut is to start by dividing by 1.06. So when you do that, again, those cancel out. You're left with B plus 9.87 equals 20.9 divided by 1.06, and that's $19.72. $19.72. This is basically saying we are undoing the tax. So instead of, so if our end price was $20.90, if we got rid of the tax, our end price would have only been $19.72. Okay, now what we do is we balance, we get rid of the plus 9.87. So the price of the notebooks, minus 9.87. And you get minus 9.87 will give you $9.85, which is the same as that. So again, the most important thing to remember with percentage problems is when you're writing the equation, make that of and is statement, and always start at 100%. And if it's increasing, you add to it. If it's decreasing, you subtract from it.